Hello fabulous DIYers, it's Yella Tabois here, and in this video I'm going to show you how to drape this straight pencil skirt. So let's begin. So here I'm working with a yard to a yard and a half of muslin fabric. Okay, so as you can see, I prepped my muslin, I ironed everything out to make it nice and neat, and I'm going to come in about 10 inches from the selvage and cut my muslin apart. And as always, I'm going to come in from the selvage 1 inch to create my center front line. From the top of my muslin, I came down 11 inches and drew a straight line from the center front line all the way to the edge of the block. It will look like this. And once you're done with that, you're going to do it again so you can have 2 pieces to drape. Now it's time to drape. We're going to drape the front part of the skirt. So with the line that I drew across, I'm going to make sure that it's parallel to the floor and pin the center front line against the center front of the dress form. As always, I'm going to smooth the fabric around the hip so everything can be nice and neat, and start pinning so I can start shaping the front of the skirt. So I'm going to go up the hip, making sure that the skirt is aligned to the floor. Now, as you can see at the top here, there's a little pocket where I'm going to create my dart. The dart, I'm going to form the dart in the area of the princess seam. I'm going to make sure that the dart is in the center of the princess seam and then start pinning to create my dart. You want to pin the dart down all the way to the bottom where it comes into a complete finish. Here, as you can see, I'm repositioning the pins and pulling in whatever excess that's left onto the side into the dart. And now it's time for me to go ahead and mark my skirt. So I decided to stay above the tape and mark the waistline there, and then come down along the dart to mark that as well, front and back, making sure that I mark it all the way down to the point where it ends, where the dart ends, and then continue to mark the waist. And make sure that's smooth so I can get any excess of fabric that's in the way. And then you want to come down to the side seam. Make sure that the side seam does not have any pluckers or spaces, and you just go ahead and continue to mark down. Make sure you mark in your hip mark and just come all the way down to the bottom of the skirt. And if you don't have the wire part, you can imagine how you want the bottom of your skirt, your pencil skirt, to be. Here I'm just indicating that this is the front part of the skirt. Now we're going to drape the back. So the back, once again, I'm going to place the center back line against the center line at the back of the dress form. And then pull again, making sure that the line that's at the hip is parallel to the floor, and smooth it across the hip so that way I can create the side seam. So here I'm going to pin that in position. And as you can see, there's a pocket space right here, so I'm going to use the princess seam to form my dart. Once everything is complete, it will look like this. Once again, here I am marking my waistline and then going in and marking my dart, my back dart. and I'm going to take it all the way again on the waist. Then you want to mark the side seam and mark in your hip mark, and then you're done. Here I decided to mark the waist again underneath the tape just to have it just in case. I might use it, I might not, because I want to keep this as a high-waisted skirt. Now it's time to see how it fits, so we're going to go ahead and make our adjustments. So here is the back of the skirt. I'm going to go and adjust the side hip, just make that more polished and clean with my hip curve ruler. And at the end of the skirt, I decided to come in more because I wanted my pencil to be a little bit more tighter at the leg or knee area of the skirt. And then I'm going to reshape the hip as well. You want to go ahead and mark the waist and then mark in your dart. At the side seam, I added my 1/2 inch seam allowance and then repin back the dart into place with pins. Once I've done with that, I cut it out and move on to the front portion of the skirt. Once again, I'm going to do the same thing, remove the pins from the dart and open up the skirt, fix any errors that I've seen or straighten out my line, and I'm going to go ahead and straighten out the dart as well. And if you see that your dart is a little curved, you can follow that and use your curve ruler to make sure that the dart is curved if you like, if this is how you see it. And then here I'm going to adjust the bottom of the skirt, the pencil. And once I've done that, I'm going to add the 1/2 inch seam allowance and then repin my dart back into place. Now I'm going to pin the skirts together. So I'm taking the front and pinning it at the side seam of the back. And then at the bottom, I see that it's not aligned, so I take my straight ruler just to align the hem. And once that's complete, we're going to take it back to the dress form to see how it fits. Now you want to place it onto the dress form, making sure that you pin the center back line to the center back of the dress form and pinning the front of the center front line to the center front of the dress form. And voila, it will look like this. If you like the way it's shaped, you can continue to move on and adjust your pattern to place on paper. So it'll look like this. Now, after I finish looking and examining the skirt, it's time for me to put it on paper. So here I'm drawing my center front line as always. And I'm going to place the skirt onto the center front line that I just drew. Then you want to trace your skirt out. Now for me, I'm not too big on having a front dart because I really don't like front darts on skirts. So I'm going to take it out. I'm going to leave the dart pinned in place and I'm going to stretch and smooth the skirt out as much as I can so I can get the shape of the skirt. This will be very difficult at first, but you gotta just smooth everything out. You can use weights or your ruler or something to hold it down so that way you can stretch the skirt out. And then you can copy this skirt. Now this is the time for you to go ahead and make your adjustments on the sizing of the skirt. I have a video that I did last year that you can go and you can learn how to make your adjustments onto your skirt to fit your size. So you can watch that here. So here I'm just marking down the side seam and tracing the skirt with the dart pinned in place. Make sure I mark my hip mark. And now I'm going to make my adjustments on the side and fit the skirt to my size. Once you've done that, now it's time for you to draw in your seam allowance, which is already in the skirt, and then you want to cut that pattern out. Here I drew in my grain line and indicated what skirt this was. I'm going to repeat the same process for the back portion of the skirt. I drew my center back line, and now I'm going to keep the back dart. I'm going to take out the pins and open up the dart area. Here I took my marker and just marked the dart, and then trace the skirt. You want to make your adjustments when you're creating your pattern. Once you are finished, you want to cut out your patterns, and these will be your slopers for whenever you're making a pencil skirt design. I'll recommend you to go and try them out to see how they fit, to make sure that your patterns are perfect. So that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe for more videos like this. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys!